Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of Married at First Sight Season 13 Reunion Part 2. Y'all, that is it. That is all. Do y'all hear me? Okay? Season 13, unlucky number 13. It's a wrap. Child, if you are new here, then welcome. Child, you're late to the mist, okay? You're late to the party, but it don't matter, child. You can still carry on with us, honey, on these lives and everything else. If you are back for a second or third time, or a 49,000 time as far as maths is concerned, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to hit that like button, comment, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, you know, we left off with Michaela storming the stage, honey, okay? Because you know that's how she do. Michaela comes storming the stage. Kevin is trying to get Zach to stay. He walks off the set to go and talk to the producer because y'all know how Zach get when he gets a little, flustered. He's like, no. I want to speak for myself. No, you wanted this, so this is what you get, and I'm ready to go. I'm like, oh, child, please let him go to the back, child, so he can talk to somebody. So the producer said, is there anything that frustrates you or upsets you? Girl, are you new? This must be your first day. Everything about Michaela and himself frustrates Zachary. Okay, shout out to Michaela. I'm like, what? Is he upset? Girl, goodbye. So he says, it's this high school stuff. You know, I don't want to do this high school stuff anymore. Now, I don't know, Zach, okay? Because I did not behave this way in high school. Okay, there's some very mature seniors out there. I'm just saying. So apparently she's back there and he's telling her, look, can you please leave? Just leave me alone, please. Now, Zach, this is what's tripping me out. You allowed her to spend the night and have big fun in the bed, but she's annoying you at this moment. Now, I understand that she said that she did not want to be in the same space with you, so why are you in my face? Okay? Bag. Give me 50 feet. I understand that. Get on back if you don't want to be bothered with me. I totally understand it. But I don't know about you acting like, just go, damn, go. Like, okay, Zach, child, let's continue to get into it. So apparently she's back there and he's doing that. So finally she leaves, walks away. He decides he's going to come back on set because in all fairness, it is his time to shine, okay? She gave her, rendition of what happened and now it's his turn. So Kevin asked about if she lived with him. He said, okay, let me just tell you the story. So basically he said they were being street fighters, okay? Shout out to Chun-Li because of Decision Day. And then they drive back in her car. He's driving because she's kind of tipsy. Child, this cast love a good spirit, don't they? Child. So then she says, let me out of the car. She hits the door, breaks the window in the car. Then she tells him something happened at work, so he wasn't going to abandon her in that moment. So he said, stay with me to the end of this week and then we're going to part. Zach, what in the hell are you talking about? So she accosted her own car, trying to jump out while it was in motion, like she was a stunt double. She told you a sob story about a house that she couldn't sell, because y'all know she's a realtor. Then you went from, I'm never talking to you again, to it's okay to stay with me until the end of the week and then we will part ways. Did what happened at her job make her homeless? Like, I'm not understanding why she needs to live with you. Like, this doesn't make any sense. So he said they got intimate during those 4 days. Now, Zach, I don't like to be made a fool of now, okay? All right? I don't like to be made to look stupid. You specifically said that you only slept with Michaela one time. Now, we all know, honey, that was not the truth because we know it probably got it popping on that 1 month and I said what I said and I'm not changing that. But Zach, you said y'all only had sex once, right? Now you're saying you had sex with her for 4 consecutive days. So Kevin said, oh, okay, so you felt like if I have sex with her, I'll help her. Now, Kevin, I appreciated that good laugh, child, because I needed it. But I did not like the way you carried on when it came to Mirala and Gil. The man was clearly upset and you were steady just taking the knife and twisting it. Like, gosh, dog, have some tact. But y'all, we're going to get into that as we get into it. So he's like, I felt like I kept rejecting her and I felt bad. Zach, she was a bee. Remember you were getting stung and whatnot? So you took your little stinger and you stuck it inside of her. Is that what's going on? Okay, because that don't make no sense to me. Okay, if she's steady stinging you, bzz, bing, and you're allergic to a bee sting and whatnot, then why are you still dealing with Michaela? So Zach, you had pity sex with her for 4 days straight? Child, I know you lying. Okay, Zach, you gonna need a colonics, honey, because you're coming across full of Like, this ain't making no sense to me. I just have to say this. The season 13 cast is one for the books. Why is everybody so up and down? Are y'all paid actors? Shout out to the Actors Guild Award. Like, this don't make no sense. And basically, the bottom line is the cameras were down, so you got it popping, honey, and you ain't fooling me. Just be upfront about it. You're 28 years old. Like, we know y'all wasn't in the bed crocheting. And what happened to you making lotions and whatnot? Child, this is a fool. Moving forward. So Kevin said, do you see how she could be confused? Do you see how you could confuse her? He's confusing us. It's not only her, it's us as well. He said, you say flowery things to her, and she says she loves you. He said, I don't believe her. I don't believe her till this day. I didn't believe her that day or this day. Okay? I knew that she was lying when she said, I love you. I knew that you were lying when you said, I love you back. Like, I don't know what y'all were doing, honey. That wasn't love, though. I'm just saying. So Kevin said, let's be honest. You said some pretty glorifying things about her. Then we cue Zach crying and lying and saying she was the most amazing woman. Yeah, in that bed, child. Moving forward. He said, I do want to find that person, but I'm not sure about marriage anymore. He's like, but I am going to have kids, though. I do know that for a fact. Child, not married at first sight made you want to be a baby daddy. Oh, no, ma'am. Zach, that don't make no sense. You want to raise your children in a loving environment, honey, with both parents present. Child, don't go out here being a statistic on purpose. And this is the woman that was more amazing than your mama, makes you want to be somebody's father without being married to their mother. Oh, child. Anywho, Zach said he's looking for the one. Honey, you ain't got to look far. And, he's optimistic that he's actually going to find love. Moving forward, Johnny and Bao. Okay, so first of all, this body language is a fool. Johnny is turned all the way away. Charlie about to fall off this couch. And I'm pretty sure that wouldn't make bow. No, never mind. Do y'all hear me? Bow, bow, bow. Boom, 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 boom. Shout out to Hurricane Chris. Bow, I had to do it one time for the one time because this is the final review. So y'all know I had to get into it. So Kevin said, we were really shocked because you guys seem like a perfect match. Would you agree with that? Bao said no. She said, we have some fundamental differences. Child, not fundamental. Somebody been talking to Zach. Okay. She said, I just felt like we were similar in ways that weren't complimentary. Absolutely. I agree. So he asked Johnny if he was surprised by the ups and downs. He said, yeah, I came in wanting a certain outcome, but I didn't get that. So Kevin asked how Bao was doing. She said, I'm happy. Yes, for the glow, Bao. Okay. The streets are saying that you are happy. And I'm going to leave that there. So Kevin asked, are you happy to be out of that marriage? She said, yes, I am. Honey, we know you are. Okay. We know you are absolutely feeling like a weight has been lifted. We know. Moving forward. So he asked about how Johnny was doing. Child, do we care? He said he's doing good and sees Bao when they're out, and other than that, they don't see each other. Well, child, it's probably for the best. So then Kevin asked if there were any good times, and Bao was like, yeah, absolutely. Bao, every time, and I'm speaking directly to you, honey, every time you say that there were so many great parts about your marriage, it leads me to believe that the editing was crappy or something, because we did not see that. We are angered out here as viewers. So we're trying to figure out, where was the judge that you keep talking about? So she was like, yeah, my wedding day was one of the best days of my life, as well as the 1 month anniversary. So Johnny said, yeah, there were good times. When we would get those homework assignments, those were fun. I'm sure they were, because they ended in sex. So Kevin said, speaking of homework, one of the fun moments was the sexy dice game. Let's see how far it went. Child, let's not. I don't want to see nothing, child. Let's continue on. So then they showed Johnny bent over, assuming the position while she massaged his bony back. I could have gone my entire life without seeing Johnny in that robe. So then they actually laughed a little bit together, at the clip and whatnot. And so then Johnny goes, I remember later on that night, it was great as well. Was it? Because you said you weren't interested or attracted to Bao. Okay, so everybody lying. Did they give y'all a script? Like, I'm just trying to figure out what's happening. So Kevin asked when things went south for Bao. Honey, at I do. She said, I don't really know when things fell off for me. Bao, allow me. Could it be after the 100th time that he put you down? Or is it the time that he was basically acting like a 12-year-old girl was being too giddy? Like, which time was it? Because, child, we out here know when it fell off. But we just trying to help you. Moving forward. So Kevin asked if she felt unprotected. She said, yeah, from the beginning. So then he asked Johnny, he said, it was around the time when she talked to Dr. Pepper and I talked to Pastor Cal and she came into the coffee shop and I just knew that there was no turning back for us. So then they show some flashbacks of Johnny emotionally and verbally abusing Bao. And Kevin asked what he wanted to say. Johnny, now you bet not say not one word that is going to upset her. And I do mean not one. He's like, it's so much I want to say, but, I will say that I felt like I could not speak my mind. So you felt like you couldn't speak your speech. Were we watching the same flashbacks, or were you a part of the same show that we were watching as viewers? For 16 weeks, all you did was speak your mind. Honey, it was probably longer than that. It could have been 20 weeks. You were speaking your mind. So Kevin said, why? He said, well, we made an agreement to talk about things off camera, but I wish that I wouldn't have because I feel like there's so much missing. Kevin said, what? Bao said, yeah, go ahead and say it. Basically, she's saying, say it to my face. That's what she's saying. You gonna say it to my face. She said, I'll admit one, I didn't want to talk about my sex life because of my family and my work life. And I can understand that. Y'all are not the first and won't be the last to lie about when the marriage was consummated. Look at Ryan and Clara. They lied about the marriage being consummated when I know dang on well Ryan and Clara have never touched each other. And y'all cannot tell me any differently, child. And y'all ain't fooling me. So Kevin asked if they lied about when they consummated the marriage. And she said, yeah, I wanted to be on the same page when we told people that. Johnny said, I just feel like she wanted to present herself a certain way to look good. She said, okay, well, give me an example. Kevin said, Bao, do you understand why he calls you fake? She said, no. I think it's mean and unwarranted. And I totally agree. And thank you, Bao, for not bowing down to Johnny and saying, yeah, I could kind of see that. He said, have you ever planned a conversation for the show? She said, no. Okay, so when you say plan the conversation, if it's a serious conversation, yes, don't you? He said, no. Johnny, cut the crap. You have nothing. Okay, you have not a leg to stand on. She wanted to make sure that she had a professional life after this. Some of them don't want to be actors. Okay, shout out to Mirala and Johnny. Some of them don't want to go on to become America's Next Top Model or whatever y'all trying to do, honey. She wanted to actually go back to her life, working for MD Anderson, and continue being bow, 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 boom, 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 boom. Shout out to Hurricane Chris. She wanted to continue on with her life, boy. Nobody want to hear that. If you got something to say, please just say it. So he said, I signed up for this to have my love story filmed. He said, you told me you had social anxieties and didn't want all of these intimate moments on camera. Okay. And why are you talking about her having social anxiety? Why are you bringing that up? What is wrong with her not wanting intimate moments on camera? Mirala and Gil did not share that they were getting it popping until decision day. Why did we need to know that? And as her spouse, that was your moment to cover her. No matter what, and no matter what you say, child, it still boils down to the fact of what you did and what you showed, and you were being a jerk. You a jerk, I know. You a jerk, I know. You a jerk, 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 jerk. I'm just saying. Shout out to the new boys. As they're talking, I'm thinking to myself, not you mad she wanted to keep her intimate details in the bedroom and her protecting her family. Boy gone. He said he felt like she was playing the victim. Child, nothing new to see here, honey. Just Johnny deflecting. That's exactly what I got from this segment. So Kevin said, you said you felt manipulated by Bao. He said, yeah, I couldn't say anything without running it past her first. I couldn't tell because you put her down every chance you got. But then again, you were putting her down to her face. I really didn't hear you talking to other people except Jose when he came over there walking like a cowboy that had just got off a horse. So, I guess, child. But all I'm going to say is this. If you wanted to say something, you were not being abused, you were not being, manipulated, say what you were going to say. This is a mess. He was like, I felt like I was drowning. Bao said, well, that's funny because that was never my intention. So Kevin said, decision day comes and you weren't happy. You say you were drowning, yet you said yes. He said, well, for me, because the last 2 weeks I didn't sleep at the apartment. Okay, child, we don't care about that. He said, but for me, I felt like, let's see what happens. Who knows? So then he basically blames it on Bao. He's like, well, when she said no, I felt like, that was really meaning that it was over. Okay, that's what no means. Like if I say no to you on decision day, that means no. I no longer want to move forward. I don't want to pass go. I don't want to collect $200. We are done. So what are you talking about? He was like, I really wanted to see if she was just different outside of the cameras. Bao said, well, have you ever thought that the person that cared about how they came off to family and friends is the real me? Because it is. The reality is you got all of me. You just didn't like what you got. Period, Johnny. Now put a cork in it. Ciao. Moving forward. He said, well, the chemistry is either there or it's not. I mean, it wasn't, because when we were married, I tried. She said, I was trying as well. So Kevin asked how things are going, because child, he getting tired of it too. And she's like, well, I'm much happier now. Johnny said he's doing good. He started relationship therapy. Okay, well, child, at least that's one good thing. So Kevin asked if he's back dating. Charlie probably dating Sarah, because, honey, I do not trust any friend or foe, okay, that will divulge disparaging information about me to my spouse. Okay, and Sarah, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. And Sarah, don't think we forgot. So he said, I've been dating her about a month. Charlie probably never stopped dating. Okay, he probably was on that same app Ryan was on, honey. Somebody actually put up with Johnny for a month. Okay. He said, I'm very into her and she's very affectionate. So was Bao. You just didn't like her. Okay, so shut it. You didn't like Bao. Point blank in the period. She was like, well, I'm happy for him. Honey, I know you are, child. You be happy when they move on, okay? Because you be like, look, I'm moving forward. I need you to move forward. So let's moving forward. I know that's real. So she's dating, but she's like, I don't want to talk about it too much. Well, child, you don't have to talk about it too much, because social media and the blogs, they're doing it for you, okay? The streets is talking. So, Bob, you don't have to say a word. So Kevin said, could you be dating someone we all know, Johnny? He said, no. Kevin said, well, rumor has it that you were dating Mirala. He said, Bao, have you heard that rumor? Baby Bao sat back. She started smiling. And she goes, well, all kinds of rumors are swirling around. And is. So Kevin said, so you like her? He said, oh, I love Mirala. I mean, I don't see anything I couldn't have accommodated. Are you serious? So you like cold fish? Oh, okay, honey. I'm just trying to figure out what's happening, child. I do not see how Mirala and Johnny could be a thing. And I don't actually think that they are. Mirala has a lot of male best friends and a lot of male friends, period. Remember when it was time for Gil to go and meet her friends and really get into who Mirala was? It was a completely different set of friends. At the bachelorette party, there were females there. But then when he went to talk to her friends, it was all males. So I think that Johnny is just like any of her other friends. Maybe she's just a guy's girl. So Bao goes, despite everything, I just want Johnny to be happy. And then he goes, well, to go back to that, I just want, Bao to be happy as well. And, Johnny can't stand to have a nice moment with Bao. So he's like, I heard the Australian maths, they swap spouses. I remember thinking, I wish I could swap. Let me tell you something. If I was sitting in such close proximity with Johnny and he was steady acting like Johnny, I would probably choose verbal violence. Okay, but that's just me. So Kevin said, okay, so who would be a better match? So Johnny goes, I think Ryan and Bao, because they had a lot of fun skeet shooting. Oh yeah, skeet shooting makes a relationship last. Johnny, if you don't shut up. He said, of course me and Mirala, and then Gil and Brett. And Jose and Rachel, they can stay together. Just say you like Mirala. Like, come on, just say it. I really like Mirala. That's all you have to say. Child, let's move on. Moving forward. Bao said, a part of me says, me and Zach wouldn't be bad either. Honey, we know it's more than just a part of you. It's all of you. Okay? In the next segment, all the ladies gather together and they show Michaela hitting them with her dance moves. Child, one of those moves is the reason Zach wants to have sleepovers. Okay? So Kevin said, Bao, what do you think? Bao said, I salute her. She was living her best life. I could learn a thing or two from her. You learn what not to do at a retreat if Zach wants to leave. That's what you learned. Child, that's what you learned. So then they talked about Brett and her 2-year dry spell. Child, Brett ain't talking about nothing. She said if you don't fill up her love tank, then you get absolutely nothing from her. And that's exactly what Ryan got. Absolutely nothing. So Kevin asked if it was hard to see Brett going through that. Michaela said, yes, it really was. But I don't like Ryan. And I can admit that. Well, girl, I'm sure the feeling is mutual. Okay? I'm sure Ryan don't like you either. She said, I felt like if he was more invested in his marriage, then maybe it could have survived. He was more invested in our marriage than he was in his. So Kevin was like, well, you know what, Michaela? One thing I can say about you is you're going to speak your speech. Well, y'all know he didn't say speak your speech, but y'all know I like to zhuzh it up, okay? But, child, please. Michaela's just mad because Ryan didn't get in that car at that ranch. That's what she's mad about, okay? There is nothing endearing about what Michaela is talking about. Child, and that's that on that. So then we talk about Bao going from sweet to CEO. Child, Bao had to deal with Johnny. She had to shift gears. Moving forward. So then Kevin asked about Rachel and Jose's marriage and said he was shocked to learn when he got here that they had, separated. He's like, Rachel, did you tell him the news? She's like, well, we're officially back together. We're not getting a divorce. Girl, that ain't no news, child. We all knew you were going to go back over there and give Jose a third and fourth chance. But, child, Mirala did not like that. I guess Ryan was right. Mirala wants Rachel to be single Rachel so they can travel together, child. So she said, I was just embarrassed because I had badmouthed him and now we're getting back together. We're trying to make things work. Okay, well, Rachel, let me just stop you right there. Now, I understand Jose be Joseing, but you can't feel embarrassed about making in normal circumstances, okay? Under normal circumstances, you cannot feel bad about trying to make your marriage work. But this should be a cautionary tale to not tell everybody your business in a normal circumstance. Not here, child, because this is something totally different. And then you go right back over there because then they're mad and then you're happy. And then it's a fool. Moving forward. Kevin said, well, the biggest shocker for us, would have to be Mirala and Gil breaking up. Here go Mirala. I mean, it really wasn't that shocking. Yes, it was, girl. You were wearing matching denim, denim, denim. He took you to the house where his father was killed. Okay? You cried. You let down your walls. You were walking that dog. This is shocking. We had merged your names. Okay? When we merge your names, that means it's real. You were Girla. Like, girl, please. So Bao said, well, we thought y'all were good. I mean, it is shocking to us. Mirala said he didn't bring out the best in me. I mean, you don't call me high maintenance or a diva. If you like nice things, then great. I just want to be with someone that doesn't make that a big deal. Now, that part I do understand. Now, Mirala, listen. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. You do not have to want to be with Gil. You have the right to say, look, I would like to dissolve the marriage. I no longer want to be married. It is the way in which you behaved on this reunion, knowing that Gil was hurt. Now, I'm a very empathetic person. Child, I make my little jokes, honey, and I'm going to get into it as I get into it. But at the same time, the man was visibly distraught. And you and Johnny just carried on. Kikiing like two little schoolgirls. Turned all into each other. Being very insensitive. That was not cool. Girl, you in your boots. Child, I told y'all that's what it was. She probably asked for something as simple as running the central air and heat, honey. And he probably brought her one of them little mini fans that you get from the Walmart. And she was like, you have to use electricity. And he was like, no, this one runs on batteries. She got pissed and decided she didn't want to be with him no more. And that's that on that. But Mirala, he was doing that since the beginning. Okay, he was doing that since the honeymoon. So if you didn't like those things, why did you say yes? Now, the people are saying that you might have had some 25-cent martinis based on that eyeshadow. So could it have been that you went in there loose as a goose, don't get me started, just like you did when you went to go talk to Dr. Pepper? Because if that's the case, then that's why you said yes on decision day. Honey, I get it, but for us, it looks like you turned a light switch. And child, that ain't making no sense. Moving forward. So Kevin tells them that he has a special moment for Mirala being Mirala. Then we see this Mirala montage. Child, not Mirala getting an entire segment. Who she know of at production? Because this don't make no sense. Why are we giving Mirala an entire segment? So Brett said, well, one thing I can say is she's unapologetically herself. She might like nice things, but she will give you the shirt off of her back. That is fine, Brett. That is a beautiful gesture. She works with children. She works in education. So I know that there's some kind of caring there somewhere. But the bottom line is, Gil came out as the people's champ when it was all said and done because of her nasty disposition. This does not make any sense. And another thing, you can be unapologetically yourself without being rude and crass, okay? Some parts and some things about you, you need to apologize for. And that's that on that. So Mirala said, material things are not what I'm all about. If I see shoes, they're pretty, I'll buy them. But I don't need them. Listen, girl, it's not the fact that you want a divorce now. That's fine. It's the cold nature in the face of his tears that is throwing us all off. That's all I'm saying. Moving forward. So then the experts show up. Hey, y'all. Child, you phoned it in this entire season. So Kevin said, Did this season surprise you at how up and down things were? I don't know how it surprised them. If y'all would have been putting in any kind of work, or you would have actually matched these couples the way that they were supposed to be matched, then we would not have had these problems. Okay, so this is all on you. You knew these people were incompatible. So Dr. Viviana said, well, yeah, it shocked me. So Dr. Viviana said, yeah, we felt the best about this season than we've ever felt before. But it proved that we could only do so much. Not y'all blaming them when you claim to do science and whatnot and have 1,000 questions or questionnaire or whatever y'all claim to be doing over there. This is not their fault. This is your fault. This is on y'all. You matched for ratings, point blank, and the period. So Kevin asked, which couple surprised Dr. Pepper the most? She said, well, Bao and Johnny, and then Gil and Mirala. You're surprised by Gil and Mirala? So the frugal fireman and the spender. Oh, okay. That's what threw y'all off. Child, please. She's like, I really feel like they were perfect together. They didn't even match aesthetically, so you thought they were come on, Pepper. Come on, Pepper. You know that doesn't make any sense. Girl, goodbye. So then we start to talk to Pastor Cal about Zach and Michaela. He said if they would have talked about their fears and not flew off the handle, they had a real shot at this thing. Pastor Cal, no, they did not. Okay? Just because they look good together means nothing. They didn't have a chance in HE double hockey sticks. No, they did not. They didn't have a chance in hell. Kevin said, but Michaela's reaction seems to be a problem. Yes, it is a problem. He's like, yeah, then there's that. And then they all laughed. That's not funny. Let me tell y'all something. Both of them were the problem. Not just Michaela alone, not just Zach alone. But what I don't play with is violence of any kind, whether it be personal property or a person. Okay, because once you tear up something, then the only place to go is down from there. So the fact that she was tearing up those spaces and y'all are just sitting back laughing, like, how is this funny? What part of him being cussed out and berated was funny? And this is another thing. We want to protect the women. I'm all for that, honey. I am a woman. I want to be protected. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, everybody that enters into this experiment needs to be protected. Okay? Because the way that he was treated in that moment. Okay, now I'm talking about that moment specifically. That didn't make no sense. And I did not like the fact that they were laughing at this. Child, that threw me all the way off. So Pastor Cal sits back and takes his glasses off, because y'all know it's going to get foggy in a minute, and says, yeah, she was ready for marriage, but she was just overwhelmed. That lady is not ready for marriage. Zach is not ready for marriage. Johnny is not ready for marriage. Mirla is not ready for marriage. Jose is not ready for marriage. She was not overwhelmed. This is who she is. She has to get help for this before she can continue on. She is not ready to marry someone. If you cannot do simple conflict resolution, you are not ready to be married. They were not fighting about nothing. Everything that they were fussing about made absolutely no sense. The initial argument was them arguing over him taking the codependent dog to the daycare and not getting in the bed when she thought he was going to get in the bed, and he was gone before she woke up. That's not really anything to fuss about. Okay, yeah, but she's ready for marriage. Yeah, you're right. My bad. So Dr. Pepper said, yeah, he's right. Zach's response was more horror than helper. I mean, okay. Dr. Pepper, how could he have helped her? How? She said, he could have helped her more and she would have been less explosive. No, she would not have been. She would have still been as explosive as she was. That's not his responsibility to raise her again or help her through whatever it is she's going through in her mind. That doesn't make any sense. Dr. Pepper, I know you might be tired, honey, and I'm going to give you a pass because, child, I ain't gonna even give you no pass. Dr. Pepper, I don't know if you're tired or what is happening with you, but him being a helper, no. And Dr. Pepper, are you victim shaming or blaming? So it was his responsibility to police her responses. The marriage's demise was all his fault. Not both of them, but all his. Dr. Pepper said, I just wish she would learn that. I think she deserved it. Why? Why does she deserve it after cussing him out and mistreating him? Why does she deserve that? Because you said so? No one deserves mistreatment. Did Jose need Rachel to be a helper as well? Honey, I am disgusted. No matter what, she would have responded that way. Her family already gave the pre-forecast for the hurricane. So you're trying to tell me that her sisters call her that for nothing? Maybe they should be helpers instead of giving her nicknames, and that will help her to be less explosive. Child, these people are full of it. So then they talk about Brett and Ryan. Child, they sped right on past them, just like we did during the season. Moving forward. So then Mirala and Gil. So Dr. Viviana felt it was going in the right direction, and Pastor Cal feels like, Mirala just jumped off the marriage train because of fear. So then they show the 25-cent Mirala with Dr. Pepper. And let me just tell y'all something. The fact that she was breaking down Hot Boy Summer versus Hot Girl Summer was sending me. I said, what kind of conversation are we even having? And Dr. Pepper was just smiling and nodding. I bet she was like, oh, child, when am I going to be able to retire? Child, anybody tell me what's going on. So Kevin said, what did you think about that? Dr. Pepper said she felt disrespected and offended because she was coming into a serious conversation inebriated. But this is my thing, Dr. Pepper. You have the authority to say, cut the tape. Cut the tape. We're not doing this anymore. Let's rewind back. Remember when Pastor Cal was sitting there waiting forever and a day for Chris to show up in his Forever 21 hoodie and his skinny jeans? Pastor Cal said, look, I'm about to end this because I'm not about to sit here and wait all day for Chris to show up. We're done. That's what you could have said. You could have said, you know what? Let's film Mirala's a little bit later because I'm not about to deal with her coming in here drunk. Okay, she's drunk as a skunk. And right now is not the time for us to have a conversation. And Mirala, you should know better. Girl, you are a professional. Get it together. That was just crazy. So then they started talking about Johnny and Bao. So Dr. Viviana said Bao has anxiety and, she makes sure that she has systems in place so no one can really tell. And Dr. Viviana, what are you talking about? Oh, okay, you don't know, honey, because I don't know either. Pastor Cal said, I'm going to have to disagree. Like, I respect you, so I'm going to have to disagree respectfully. But that sounds manipulative. So Dr. Viviana was like, I think we all have a little bit of a manipulator in us. Okay, did y'all have the same martinis that Mirala had before y'all came on the set? What are y'all talking about? So Kevin said, well, Pastor Cal, that's what Johnny said about her. He said, I don't agree. She's very logical. Johnny was just over the top. Pastor Cal, now this you're on point with. Shout out to Phaedra Parks. So then they started talking about Rachel and Jose. Dr. Pepper said, I feel like both of them have something going for them, but Jose, who has huge anger issues and is controlling. Now, I don't disagree, Dr. Pepper. I don't disagree. But if we gonna call Jose out, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Because Michaela has huge anger issues as well. Come on, y'all. But she needed a helper. Kevin said, he went to sleep after locking her out. Dr. Pepper said, yeah, and that was scary. Okay. Jose and Rachel come out to talk to the experts, right? So Dr. Pepper asked what she needed to come back into the marriage. She was like, well, I need to be able for it not to be passive aggressive because we both tend to do those types of things. So then Dr. Viviana, she piped up and she was like, yeah, mean. You guys are very mean. We saw it. It was there. So Rachel started to question if she was doing something wrong. She's like, I'm just trying to figure out, am I doing something wrong? Rachel, the reasons you left are still going to be there when you go back. He's still Jose. Okay. Dr. Pepper said, Jose, you are a great guy, but you need professional help. Well, honey, I hope he and Michaela are going to go together. I don't know if y'all have a Groupon for it or what's going to go on, honey, but just sign the whole cast up. Everybody in there need professional help. Sign everybody up. Child, this is a fool. Moving forward. Dr. Pepper said, well, you can be very domineering, right? So then Pastor Cal looked at Rachel and he goes, do you feel like he talks at you? Of course he does. So Dr. Pepper asked if she was moving back. Girl, don't go back to that house. Rachel, do not go back to that house, girl. You are going to forever need a spare key underneath your car. You're going to need a point of contact. Like, you're going to have to carry around one of those little cards. You know how you give those little kindergartners those little cards when they first started riding the bus? Because you need them to know all of the emergency contacts, who to call in case they get lost. You need to have a phone number, an address, and somebody that they can call in case the kid forgets to get off on what stop. That's exactly what Rachel is going to need. She's going to need an identification card. Rachel, don't you go back to that house, girl. So Pastor Cal commends them for working through it, child. I'm not a fan of Jose treating Rachel the way that he does and the way that he has. And I'm not a fan of them co-signing Rachel being controlled by Jose. And that's that on that. Moving forward. Merlin and Gill come out to talk to the experts. And they show her naming all the great things that Gil has done for her. Like making the bed, opening the doors, just doing the small things. Gil was sitting there with tears in his eyes. Dr. Pepper said, I'm confused. Honey, so are we. Mirla, why would you say all that just to dump him 2 weeks later? It has to be something more to it. It has to be. I need an exclusive. Mirla, I'm speaking directly to you. I would like for you to come on my platform and speak your speech, honey. I need you to pipe up and let me know exactly what Gil did in a 2-week time period when you were with him for a total of over 8 weeks. Did you just want to be on TV? Are you using him, just to get your name out there? Like, what were you doing exactly? Like, I understand that he was nitpicking and whatnot, but like, I'm seeing him and he's visibly upset. So while they are showing this package, Gil is tearing up. So Kevin asks, if he was okay. Child, I really felt bad for him. He said, I just really feel blindsided and I feel like it's unfair to me. It is, because she should have expressed it earlier. Don't get him all wrapped up in you if you aren't really feeling him. And if you're not feeling the way that he handles you, you should have said that. He feels like, she should have told him about the reservations that she was having. Mirla said, I was honest with you. No, Mirla, you and your boots, y'all sat there and skinned and grinned, gone off them martinis, never saying, I'm having these feelings. I don't feel like this is right. I don't feel like that is right. You barely said anything when you met with the experts. You would let Gil do all of the talking. And he specifically told you that some things that you did would cause him to want a divorce. And you said, I don't want a divorce. So now you're saying that you told him these things. That's not the truth. She said, when I started to feel these things, I told him exactly what it was. So Dr. Pepper said, something not adding up. Okay, the math ain't mathing. Allow me to help you, Master P. So she said, it was also the time I came to your apartment. I want to know what happened. I need specifics. Okay. Mirla said, well, things occurred decision day. I'm like, what is decision day? Oh, Mirla, that doesn't make sense, honey. She said some things happened decision day that I didn't feel safe to make certain decisions. Like what, lady? You're still not saying anything. You're speaking, but nothing is coming out. You're talking in circles. You got me going in circles. You're not saying anything. So Pastor Cal said, you know what, Mirla? You're just scared. Pastor Cal, that has nothing to do with anything, okay? Nothing. So then all of the experts are questioning whether marriage is really for her. It's not. Mirla does not want to be married. She wanted a travel buddy. She should have got over there with Rachel. Like, this is not making no sense. Mirla, this is a fool. No, don't stay in something you aren't happy in. But this man looks broken. Why not tell him this before decision day? I think he would have received it better if he'd heard it from you on that day. Now, I know that Gil was constantly talking about money doesn't motivate me, and she's always talking about this, and I'm happy that she chose Mirla. It's the way that you're doing it. It's a way to let a person down. Like, come on. You don't have to be that cold and callous. Like, just say, look, when I looked back, I decided that me and Gil weren't compatible. Point blank, in the period. Moving forward. In the next segment, all of the now singles, yes, I'm including Rachel and Jose too, okay? They right on in there with everybody else. They all come out, and Kevin asks who misses filming. Johnny. Child, I don't know why. So Kevin asks, so what are the positives that you're going to take away from this, Zach? He said, the great group of people that I got to meet. So then Kevin brings up him seeing Michaela for the first time. And he said, I'm indifferent. So then he said, what about you, Michaela? She said, I'm fine. Awkward silence. Child, this is a fool. So Kevin said, is anybody surprised by the social media reaction? Here go Ryan. I like chirping back. It's tweeting. Ryan, you sound like an old man. Not I like chirping back. No, you like tweeting back. But what is wrong with you? And they said, yeah, that Ryan does like to do that. Yes, Ryan is definitely going to pipe up and speak his speech if he don't do nothing else. Now, he wasn't speaking a word in that marriage, but on social media and underneath these different videos and underneath these different Instagram posts, Ryan is going to say what he needs to say. I think Ryan just like to do things over the internets. Okay, he like to play on Beyonce's internet. That's what it is. That's why y'all on these dating apps and whatnot. But Ryan, you should have been bumping them gums and piping up in that marriage. Now I'm speaking directly to you. So Bao said, it's just amazing to me how so many people care about my showering habits. Yes, Bao, we want your Hello Kitty to be clean at all times. Girl, goodbye. Here go Johnny. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Shut up. He's like, you got one right here. Oh, anyway. Mirla, why do you got those boots turned toward Johnny? Why are you touching his arm? Do you not understand that Gil is like 2 people away? Why are you doing this purposely to agitate him and you already know that he's upset? Like, I don't know if they had a huge argument and she's calling his bluff or what is happening. Something is not adding up. And the way that she's behaving with Johnny further lets me know that something is not adding up. She said, but I shower on a daily basis. So then Kevin asked about Gil's DMs, and he said, well, they're full. He said, I get guys in my DMs as well. Everybody's like, oh my goodness. He said, no, they're just congratulating me for being married. So Kevin asked about the craziest things that wound up in his DMs. He said there was this one girl that's definitely a fan, and every week it's 10 to 12 stories about him in his favor. Okay, that ain't cute. It's sounding very stalkerish to me. It's sounding very thin line between love and hate. It's sounding very Dateline. Okay? Mirala said, well, we all like her. Not y'all all like her. Child, I'm sure you want them to run off into the sunset so they can leave you be. So Jose said, people are always questioning my sexuality. Here go, Michaela. I have a very strong gaydar, and it's never gone off about you. Michaela, please sit back. So Kevin said, well, there's something about the volleyball games that you guys have been doing. So Johnny is like, yeah, we were on teams then, and so we're on teams now. And Mirala is like, ooh, what's our team name? He said, premarital sets. Womp, womp, womp. Child, y'all the only two laughing. Moving forward. So Kevin asks, well, who's hung out? So Rachel and Mirala, they went to Chicago, right? So Johnny and Mirala say they've gone to Cancun. So then he tells this story about how they just so happen to be at the same place at the same time. I call BS. Okay? I call BS. You planned a vacation or a BFF-cation or whatever y'all did, y'all playing this. Okay, it ain't no way that y'all ended up in the exact same resort at the exact same time at the exact same place. Child, please, y'all must really think I'm boo-boo the fool. So Kevin said, so y'all are just BFFs, right? So Johnny kind of shrugged his shoulders like, well, I don't know. Are we? Maybe, maybe not. So then they pan to Gil. Okay, y'all. They pan over to Gil. And Gil had one single tear rolling down his cheek. Now, if Gil would have got up and slid Johnny and his flowery shirt right across Mirala's leather boots, I would not have said a word, because y'all are playing in his face. It is one thing to be done with a marriage, but it is a whole other to see someone in pain and continue to stab them. This was just heartbreaking. He is truly heartbroken. So everyone else is laughing while Gil looks like he want to burst into unbreak my heart, say you love me again. Shout out to Tony Braxton. Child, unbreak his heart, child. Johnny, you little twerp. So Mirala, this is not cool. Okay? Like, have some compassion. Like, I don't know what the hell happened between Gil and Mirala, but she is cold as ice when it comes to Gil. Thank God he a firefighter, because she acting like she wouldn't spit on him if he was on fire. Mirala, I'm questioning your judgment. Because, honey, if you'll get over there with Johnny after seeing how he treated Bao, then that says a lot about your character. And I know you don't want to hang around, honey. You are the company that you keep. Don't you tell the children in the school system the same exact thing? I know I tell my students, hey, look, you hanging out with little Billy. Little Billy skipped school. So when little Billy gets in trouble, they're automatically going to think that you're the problem as well. You have to be careful of the company that you keep, Mirala. What's wrong with you? She's like, we're besties. Okay, you being petty boots now. Petty leather studded boots. Okay, you being petty boots. So Kevin asked about how Gil felt. He's like, I don't feel anything. Kevin, why are you doing this? Why are you asking Gil how he feels? You can see how he feels. I know you are through the screen and whatnot on the Zoom of it all. You can still see that he is upset. Like, lay off. Okay, just lay off. Like, they need to keep you over there on Entertainment Tonight if you're not going to have any kind of compassion for these people. These are humans. Then we go to Rachel and Jose, and her saying the name Johnny. And, Jose was Josean, child. Okay, child, let's move forward. So then Kevin brought up the couples retreat. Ryan looked at Zach, y'all, and he said, well, let's get into it if we going to get into it. I died. Oh, my is when I tell y'all the opinionators have arrived, honey, and the spotlight is on y'all. Child, I loved every minute of it. Ryan, you better be an opinionator. Now, Ryan, listen, honey, you know I'm going to speak directly to you and I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser, no matter what's going on. But I loved the fact that you looked at Zach and said, let's get into it if we going to get into it. Yes, let's. So Kevin starts giving us the forecast about how Mirala is going to tear up the city and whatnot while she just sits there and smirks. So then they roll the clip and they showed my favorite part of the entire debacle, which is Ryan and Michaela getting into it. She goes and looks at Ryan and she says, well, you said you were going to get in the car with him. Well, get in the car with him. He said, okay. She said, well, then go. He said, I will. Y'all know that is my favorite part of that. It's nothing funny about what happened on that ranch, but the fact that Michaela and Ryan were going at it and he seemed a little bit nervous, child, and a little bit scared. Child, that will go down in Married at First Sight history for me. Honey, that was funny to me because he did not move. She was steady telling him to get in the car and Ryan's feet were firmly planted on that ranch. Do y'all hear me? So she said, well, you know, it's not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that I can laugh at now. What is everybody giggling about? What is everybody kikiing about? Is it the fact that tomorrow's Thanksgiving? Because I didn't see anything funny with you tearing up those recreational spaces. Absolutely nothing. So then she started lying. I'm sorry, I just can't. Okay, I don't buy anything that she says. I just don't. And after all that, she still said it was his fault. She's like, well, you know, he left and my dad left in the middle of the night and I'm not buying that, Michaela. Let me tell you something. I am very empathetic to your father passing. Yes, I am. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But Michaela, you told him to go in the heat of the night. So now all of a sudden you didn't want him to go because it brought you back to your father leaving in the middle of the night upset. That's not what you said when we first met you. You didn't say your dad left upset. You said that he got hit by a drunk driver, but you never said he left the house in the middle of the night upset. Girl, please. So she said, you know, it just really took me there. Okay. So then Zach was like, well, listen, I left for me, not for you. She's like, I just expressed how I felt and you don't care. You never cared about me. So child, these two getting into it, child. It's like at this point, look, we don't need to fight each other on behalf of Zach and Michaela. Okay. Let us all stick together because we have been gaslighted. We have been made a fool of, bamboozled, and led astray this entire season. Okay. So let's band together. Okay. We ain't fighting each other in the comments. I'm not team nobody. My head hurts. Okay. And tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I haven't even made my dressing. Okay. So we're just going to continue to get into this and then I'm going to go on and get what I need to get done. Child, this is a fool. So then Zach was like, you know what? Actually, I'm very sorry for that. She's like, you're not sorry. Shut the fuck up. See, this is the problem right here, Michaela. This is what we're talking about. Now, granted, Zach, I don't think you really meant that. I think you just want her to shut up. So you're like, child, let me just apologize to you so you can shut up and leave me alone. I'm so happy this is the last time I have to ever see you. That's what you were giving me. But Michaela, you get ready to cuss him out again, child. So Kevin was like, I think he's trying to apologize. She's like, fucking lying. Okay, now, I'm sorry, but I have to go with Michaela on that. I feel like that was going to be a lie. I don't feel like that apology was about to be genuine or sincere. At this point, he was completely checked out and he just wanted you to leave him alone. Y'all know how Zach be getting them looks on his face, child. You can tell when he's somewhere out of space. Moving forward. So Kevin asked, now that it's over and you're single, what do you think? Who do you think would have been better suited? So Gil got up and he was like, you know what? I think I'm about done with this. Kevin, read the room. What is wrong with you? So he gets up and he runs out and Michaela goes behind him. And Johnny was like, he didn't like that question. Rachel said, Johnny, back off. Yes, Rachel. That is what I am talking about. You better pipe up and defend Gil. Like, Johnny, shut up. Gosh, you sitting here on your high horse with your little comb over. Now we can't see your little plugs. And you want to sit here and say, oh, he didn't like that question. It's disrespectful. Because if you had made a match on here and you actually felt for anybody other than yourself, you would know how it feels to be in that position. And Mirala, you didn't even say anything. You could have gotten up and went to go and see why this man was hurting. Did you care anything about him at all, even as a person? Ugh. So Michaela's in the back hugging him. Child, I was looking for her to whisper in his ear, you want me to this up? Because I do it. Child, I was looking for her to ask him if he wanted her to mess things up, child. Because you know Michaela get ready to get something started in a minute. So he's in the back telling her that he's upset that he's leaving divorce. And he's like, this is not conducive for me because I wanted a forever. And these people are so nonchalant about it, like, oh, we could just get a divorce. It's cool. And the fact that Mirala couldn't at least talk to him. Come on now, Mirala. Like at the end of the day, I'm not saying feel sorry for Gil, because honey, Gil gonna bounce back, because child, he gonna bounce back. But all I'm saying is he's still a person at the end of the day. Like, come on, dude. So then the producer comes in and asks if they would like to go back out, and they were like, no, we're both done. Child, now Michaela gonna try to shoot her shot on the slick. Child, I'm watching you. Moving forward. Now, I did give Gil a hard time, but he's hurting. So, I mean, you got to be heartless to overlook that. Okay, and I'm not going to overlook his pain because he made comments about having an account in the Swiss Alps. Okay, he ain't got no money now, he ain't got no money then. But somebody brought to my attention that Gil, you are wearing a Cartier bracelet and red bottom shoes. So either you took out a loan to come to the reunion or somebody lying. Let me find out that this is a screen full of actors, and I'm not playing with y'all. Okay, I'm gonna do my research. Moving forward. So then Kevin shows some never before seen footage, and I did like them showing all the happy moments because Lord knows there were only a few. This season destroyed people's mental health, and I was not here for it, okay, including mine. Okay, people questioned my integrity throughout this season. They questioned my judgment, and I didn't know whether I was coming or going, and I don't like that, okay? People were playing in my face. So I'm so happy that it is over. Then they show the sneak peek for season 14. And that was the end of the episode. Child, y'all stay with me for one more round. It's the end of January, and here we go again. All I can say is this to sum this season up. Zach, good luck at the lotion and the crocheting and whatnot, and good luck to you and Bao, allegedly. Ryan, pipe up in your next relationship. Brett, turn on the zhuzh, honey. Turn on your femininity. You are not the forever homegirl. Michaela, hopefully you start taking some accountability and stop wearing those wigs and stop using that baby voice. It makes you appear insane. Rachel, my condolences. Jose, don't do too much Joseing on Rachel now. And Bao, well, bow, bow, bow. Boom, 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 boom. Shout out to Hurricane Chris. As for Johnny and Mirala, I say good day. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what y'all thought about this last part of the reunion. Happy Thanksgiving to every single person that listened to this review, and happy holidays to you all. Congratulations to the winners of the giveaway. Please don't hesitate to check my community tab to see if you are the lucky winner if you have not yet emailed me, and also check your emails if you sent me a submission, because I was able to bless some additional people in addition to the 2 people that actually won. It's not the same amount, but honey, it's something. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.